What's up, and thanks for tuning in. I done something pretty stupid. So I was put in a position where I'd done something because I had to, not because I wanted to. And it was pretty dumb. And it was all my fault. I took my wife's vehicle, which we're sharing, by the way. At present time, we're down to one vehicle, so her and I have been sharing a vehicle. So I had to use her vehicle to go do something for work, and I wrecked it. I was my fault entirely. No one else was involved. It was just me by myself screwing up. In true Van Damage style, I broke something. And we just had liability insurance that happened off-road, and they weren't going to cover it anyway, so I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't have any. It took me a couple days to kind of figure out what I wanted to do and what direction I wanted to go, because at that point I wasn't sure. But I happen to have something with my bank account. A lot of people probably have this as well, but I have what's called the overdraft protection. I recently got a good job, and I have direct deposit, so I qualify for so much overdraft protection. And if it had not have been for that, I would not have been able to do this. The vehicle would probably still be sitting here. So I was lucky that I was able to fall back on that to where I could get the parts. But a couple days later after this happened, I hopped on eBay. I looked up all the parts. I was able to find all the parts I needed on ebay.com. They didn't sponsor this. I'm just saying this is what I did. I got them off eBay, and they started arriving a couple days later, and it was such a low speed impact. I was at a stop. I was sitting still. I wasn't moving. And when I went to take off, I hit something. So it was very low speeds. I thought it was all cosmetic. I should have known better because I've done this kind of work before. But there was actually 2 brackets in there that were bent too bad, and one was demolished. So I had to get those from Toyota. You'll see in here, I'll point it out. Those 2 brackets cost me $150. So in this rebuild video, I messed up again because I recorded this over the course of 3 or 4 days. And I've used this camera setup before, never had an issue. But for some reason, just for this audio, this footage that I recorded, there was no audio. I don't know why. I couldn't figure it out. I ended up playing with it afterwards and switching some things out. And the audio works, so I don't know what happened with this footage, but there's no audio. So I'm going to dub it over, some of it, to explain what's going on. And there's going to be some music. And I've kind of cut out some parts that it was just me talking because there's no audio. So here's the rebuild video of me rebuilding my wife's 4Runner. It was quite fun, and I had to get a little creative in Van Damage style. So if you haven't already and you made it this far, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. I would appreciate it. This was work, but it was fun also, and I learned a lot. So hope you enjoy. But real quick, before we get into today's video, I want to talk to you about today's sponsor. And today's sponsor was actually me. I'm sponsoring this video, ClaudeVanDamage.com. I'm giving away this toolbox. It's a custom toolbox that I took apart. I stripped all of the hardware off it, stripped it down, painted it, put this cool livery on it myself. And everything that I have on my website is stuff that I have in my possession to ship out. It's not stuff that's going to be drop ship or print on demand. It's everything I have. I have lanyards, stickers, I have some keychains. I have some other bigger prints on the website, as I have a couple of those. Check it out at ClaudeVanDamage.com with 2 M's. You can win this box. I'm going to give it to somebody. This is my first giveaway. It's kind of small. I'm not giving away Lamborghinis. I probably would never give away a Lamborghini, but I want to give away something bigger. But first, I'm starting with this one. So if you go check out ClaudeVanDamage.com, check out that box, check out my products, get the Gear Sport channel, and I'll ship that to you. It's not going to cost you anything. I'll ship it on my dime. So this is the part where there's no audio, and I'm just talking about all the damage here. And this is where I discover some of the damage that I wasn't really aware of. There's a couple brackets in here, the metal brackets that were bent too bad. That one right there below my hand was really bad. I'm not able to save it. I'll take it off later and show you. There's a couple more bent brackets. That up there I'm able to straighten. But I'm just showing a couple of the wires on the wiring harness was bad. This bracket right here was bent. There's a support there for the bumper that's all bent up. You'll see here in a minute once I start taking it apart. And after a little while of taking apart twisted metal, I was able to get the front bumper off to be able to see the real damage. So I just tossed this aside. And this is when I realized the extent of what I've done, that the damage is a little bit worse than what I originally thought. I see more bent stuff than what I had originally anticipated. I'm like, oh crap. The parts that I ordered are not going to cover all this. And I can honestly see that there's a few brackets that I just can't save. And here I could probably say that the headlight was the one thing that sustained the most damage because it ended up in the most pieces. And this is some parts of the headlight. There's some more down there. But the work must continue. Here I'm going to remove some more of the brackets so I can assess more of the damage and get the fender off. And this is where, of course, I realized that another bracket is one that I can't save because it's in too many pieces. And this little bracket right here I ordered from Toyota ended up costing me about $78. But that's not all. Here in a minute, I'll take this bracket off, and I realize this bracket cannot be saved. It's too far gone. I'm good at bending metal, but I'm not that good. Yeah, this is toast. There's no way I could save this. At this point, it just keeps getting worse because I realized that this is bent farther back than what I thought, and it's actually been rubbing on the tire. That's why I couldn't drive it. So I had to come up with a way to pull this back out. I didn't have a frame machine. I didn't have a way to do this. So I come up with a way on my own. And I just wrap this around the tree, hook it to my car, and I have a makeshift little frame machine to pull it with. Some of you may have seen this trick on other channels and other people's pages before. I'm just heating up some of the metal that got bent, so when I start to pull it and bang on it, hopefully it just helps it get back to where it's supposed to be. Now this is more Van Damage ingenuity. The bottom of this got pushed down, and I'm trying to figure out a way to push it back up. So you can see I've got my jack there, and I've got a little handle there that I'm going to use to push it up. And I've got a little bit of tension on it right now, but I get my bigger blowtorch, and I'm going to heat up the side of this metal so when I jack up on it, I'm hoping that it relaxes and goes back to where it's supposed to. I got it pretty close. And after that, I get it pretty close that I can start test fitting the fender to make sure it's going to fit properly. And I have enough gaps between my door edge and my hood edge. And so that way I can properly fit the headlight. Now, these are the two brackets that I purchased from Toyota. I just picked them up that day. They cost me $150 for those two brackets. And now the bumper, I finally have it all assembled. I was able to reuse the original grill and it snaps into place. The fog lights are new. They just snap in with these little dowels here on each side. Pretty easy to install. And now we're gonna throw the bumper on. And now that the bumper's on, close the hood and check the gaps. It fit pretty good. And just so no one hates, this is where the fender trim goes. I have to order these clips because whenever I moved the trim from the old fender, they all broke. They're pretty cheap. I just forgot to order them. And of course, lastly, you have to road test it. So here I'm pulling it back into the driveway, and I know I've got the camera on, so when I stop, I'm just gonna check all the lights because I wanna see how they look and how they work. New fog lights, one new headlight, and everything works awesome.